Hi, it's Nathan here, and today I'm answering the question, what is a verification of competency, or VOC? So a VOC is basically a process where you assess that a worker is competent and can do a task safely. So VOC, verification of competency, you are verifying that they are competent. So it's not specifically mentioned under any regulation that you have to do these, but it helps meet general requirements like ensuring safe systems of work, ensuring safe use of plant, providing adequate information, instruction and training. On that last one, in the regulations, it expands upon that legal duty, and it says that the level of information, instruction and training needs to be appropriate to the risk of the task. So if you're using a stapler, that's a fairly safe task. You probably don't need a huge amount of training. But if you're using, let's say, an excavator, there are a lot of risks. That's a dangerous job. Then you obviously need more training for that. In terms of what's legally required in terms of training and competency, under the regulations, the main requirements are for high-risk work licensing, which is things like cranes, scaffolding over 4 meters, rigging and dogging, forklift. For everything else, it really is just those general legal duties around ensuring appropriate adequate information, instruction and training. And that's where VOCs can come in handy. So let's take like an excavator, for example. That's not classed as high risk work, so you don't need a high risk work license for it. You can do external training. So back in the day, they had like those yellow operator tickets that don't exist anymore, but don't get rid of them because they still can be used as evidence that you're competent for a job. Or you can, for an excavator, go and do like an RII unit of competency, like operate an excavator in a civil construction environment. And that's all good, but there's nothing legally that says you have to do those courses. So for things like excavator, a verification of competency is just a way a company can verify that a worker can do a job safely. So you're sort of trying to meet that general legal duty to say, yes, this worker is competent. Yes, this worker can do this job safely. In terms of what is in a VOC, sometimes you'll see companies that actually deliver these, and it'll be quite a rigorous process. Might be, half a day, like a full training course. Other times it might just be a little theory assessment with a practical observation. We have a bunch of free ones on our website over at spysafety.com if you're interested. So, feel free to download those. Another question I get asked a lot of is, who can do a verification of competency? And, verification of competencies aren't even mentioned in the regulation. So it obviously doesn't mention who can do one. But the gold standard of who should be able to do one is someone who's familiar with the task themselves. So if it's a VOC on an excavator, the person doing it should be a competent excavator operator. And then also they should be a competent trainer and assessor, which means they should ideally have a Cert 4 in training and assessment as well. So companies that deliver the VOCs, the people who come out and do it will typically have the ticket for whatever they're doing the VOC on, and they'll have the Cert 4 in training and assessment as well. If you're doing those documents, if you're doing VOCs internally and you don't have someone with a Cert 4 in training and assessment, that's the gold standard. So if you don't have it, then you're just going to have to do it without it. And that you can combine 2 people. So if you've got one person who's got the Cert 4 in training and assessment and one person who's got the ticket for the machine, they can both together do the assessment on the worker. So you can do it that way as well. So hope that helps, and see you next time.